All right, let's get this white balance set. Oh, God, fuck! All right, guys, welcome. We're going to get right into this video to tell you what the proper terminology of parts of your boat are without stating the obvious of front, bow, back, stern. Yeah, great line in Jaws, by the way. But before we get into that, we have some new channel members that I would like to say hello to for the month of April. So far, we have Tony Villaquaca. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. We have Josh Marsh, Don Brady, Kelt Cruscocor, Kevin Mata, and Dave Crew. Thank you guys so much. Also, the month of April, we're going to pick one new subscriber, and you're either going to get this drink koozie or that drink koozie, but you gotta watch the videos to find out if you win. If you guys sign up to be a member of this page or over on Patreon, well, you're gonna get all these drink koozies and stickers and all kinds of stuff anyway. We also have a members only video here and on Patreon that really gets into me and my personal feelings with the company Total Boat. All right, guys, the biggest pet peeve that I have about boat terminology is it is not called the floor, okay? It's the deck. Your feet go on the deck. So for the love of God, stop calling it the floor in all the comments. We already covered front bow, back stern, and if you're moving towards the rear of your boat, you're heading aft. Now, port and starboard, that's a really easy thing to remember. And if you have a lot of difficulty remembering it, which some people do, and that's okay, is that starboard is always your right-hand side and port is your left-hand side. And the easy way to remember is port has 4 letters in it and left has 4 letters in it. So pretty easy to remember. And another way that you can remember is with the lights on the bow of your boat. Green is starboard and red is port. And the way my father always used to say it was red, port, wine. The next thing that people really kind of need to know is what's called the beam of your boat, which is the distance between your gunnels, so the distance between your port and starboard side. Whatever that width is the beam of your boat. Now that other part that's below the deck, where all the water sits and you've got your little pumps, yep, that's called the bilge. You have a bilge pump to pump out the bilge. And remember this, folks, if you smell the bilge, you fart the bilge. Another really simple term to remember is bulkhead, and that is a piece that separates components of your hull or above your deck. Like lobster boats have a bulkhead, with a steering wheel on it and, a hole to go down below. And that leads us into down below. That's a cabin on most boats. Down below is a cabin. But there's a reason they call it down below, because if you are in really shitty weather and you go down below, yeah. Another term that you're probably going to hear a lot of boat builders use is the term freeboard. And freeboard is the distance between your deck and the water line of your boat. And on sailboats, that could be, 18 to 20 inches. And on some of your other like commercial style lobster boats, it could be like a foot. And the amount of freeboard that you have really determines how much weight your boat can hold, really how stable your boat's going to be in the water, and generally how much like wind and wave your boat's going to take. But that's only in the rarest of circumstances. I really don't consider freeboard to determine how much water is going to be on the deck of your boat. And that leads us into the water line. So what is the water line? It sounds pretty self-explanatory, and it should be, but the water line is where the water meets the hull of the boat. So when your boat is sitting in the water, displacing water, that line, that's where your water line is. And generally, you'll have a boot stripe of some kind going around your boat that shows you exactly where the water line is. And that's a really good thing to know, because if that stripe is under the water or one side's up, one side's down, you know you have a serious problem. The galley is a pretty simple thing. That's where the women stay. Kidding. I'm kidding. The helm, that's where you drive the boat from. Now, some of you might have a bass boat or some type of other, flat bottom boat, and you might have what's called a casting deck, which is an area that's up a little higher than the normal deck of your boat that you can cast from. I just spoke with a guy in the comments from Poland, and I would be curious to know if you guys have any other terminologies in other countries. I guess the point of this video is to teach you the terminology so that when you're relaying information to somebody else, you're not going to sound like an idiot.